Well, the story of the film is about Daniel. He's he's a young photographer, and he in the scenes we're shooting today, and we're going to shoot by the Dead Sea tomorrow. He goes to Mogadishu in Somalia with an older photographer that teaches him the trade, and that gives him the courage to himself to go into Syria to try to portray the civil war.
So he's lying down.
Okay. Can I get rain jackets off the extras, please?
And I'm playing Daniel Rye, who's a photographer. He's a real person who went to Syria in 2013 to report on the locals and the civilians and how they live their life when there's a war going on. Then he went down there, but he was captured by the Islamic State, and he was held prisoner for a year until he was bought free from his family, funded the money to get him free. So he was there for 13 months. I kind of got into the personality of Daniel because in, of course, researching as you do as an actor and talking a lot to Daniel, reading the book. It's a book we're filmatizing. Yeah, and then reading a lot of stories about, kidnappings and what's going on and why Daniel wanted to go down there, because he wasn't really interested in taking photos of the war. He was interested in meeting the local people and see how a civil war affects normal people, because it could happen everywhere. So he wanted to kind of bring that story to Denmark.
Action rehearsal.
I also play the character of Arthur, who's trying to get Daniel out of Syria. And there's only 20 people in the world have this job as Arthur have. And he was also looking for James Foley before Daniel got captured. So then he was looking for James Foley, and then he should look for Daniel Rye, and suddenly he find out that they were sitting together. So
when you're quoting me for saying nobody's born evil, I think that applies to everyone. And I think that in our film we are portraying, the character that was known as Jihad John. That was not his real name, of course. And we do have an interesting arc in him. And definitely we see insecurity, we see small pieces of what has made him the way he was. Anders and I had a very, very interesting experience. We went to London to cast those, foreign fighters that went from England. That Jihad John was one of them. And a lot of the young guys coming in for casting, the young actors, had gone to school with the real John. And it was certainly interesting to hear what he went through earlier, So I definitely think that when people, and I wouldn't say become evil, but when they gain the capacity to do evil things, it is very much from the environment, from emotional things that happens to them that goes wrong. I think that's an important lesson for this world to know.
「戦争の中の日常を撮るため内戦中のシリアに渡った24歳の写真家ダニエル」
やAllah!
MC!
Han er aldrig kommet tilbage fra Syrien.
Vi har ansat en mand.
شو راح يدفعوا مشانه؟
قالوا ناس عاديين.
$700,000.
Danmark forhandler ikke med terrorister.
Jeg synes, at vi skal tilbyde dem de 250.000.
Men hvis vi tilbyder dem mindre end løsesummen, så vil det blive opfattet som en fornærmelse.
Remember Abu Ghraib, James? This is why this is happening to you.
De er meget vrede nu. De vil have 2 millioner euro nu.
Så stiger chancen for, at vi får Daniel hjem i live for hver eneste krone, vi kan samle sammen.
I mean, I fucked up their lives too. I fucked up everything.
衝撃の実話に基づく奇跡の生還。ある人質生還までの398日。